started as a DJ first, but soon after I discovered drum machines and samplers and stuff like that, so I became really involved in the production part of it. This has been the box that's been able to keep me going in the last couple of summers. I'm just gonna go to a general folder and sort of choose samples and bring them individually into the pad, do a bit of fiddling with it until I find the sound that I'm looking for and construct a house track. A lot of times you just need a millisecond of a sound because you can spread it and play the way you want. The traditional way of bass lines would be with keyboards and whatever, but the pads allow me to do the same. If I just grab a single piece of the sample that sometimes I take. You're grabbing the essence of a sample, not necessarily the sample as you find it. While I was recording a lot of my vinyl to play on digital, I also sample a lot of stuff. And this is where I got my most valuable collection. And from that, I've made super tight folders of like all kicks, all hats, all claps, things like that. So, loading up some live hats. Here, I'm not gonna use all that bass line. I'm just gonna grab one lick of that bass line. So that's the one bass lick. Okay, so I grabbed a couple now and I'm gonna start basically putting the skeleton together, which usually starts with kicks and claps and hats and stuff like that. There's a kick. I've truncated the end part of it. So we go into the hats again. I'm going into the actual sample and, you know, slicing one little bit, because it might be one thing that I'm looking for. In this case, it'll be a hat. And there's actually multiple hats here. And what I usually do is I grab one and then I'll slice it so I can split the sample into as many parts as you can. So now you have multiple, really two different kind of hats here. One open hat, one short. I like to close this one, the one shot, I turn it to gate. So it just gives me a short little piece. Sometimes you just want a little snippet and it's right there and all you gotta do is touch it. And sometimes when you put the velocity on, sometimes the sample is really loud and you just wanna kind of fade it in. I put the velocity and touch it mildly and it'll record the sample sort of evenly to what's going on. I'm gonna start with a kick, all right? We all start with a kick. I'm gonna do it manually. You can record it on the fly. I'm gonna put 30% of some swing on it just to see what happens. So here we go, kick. I like to take it to the mixer to know where the levels are at, and it's very important to keep an eye on. I put a little bit of master and bring down the individual channels. I bring them out a bit and bring the master up and then kind of level everything out, you know. So you have a nice kick. We can mess with it on the fly too. We're gonna go to the hat, lower, I'm gonna lower the volume on that. And then record. I'm gonna throw in the loop with the beats. So this sample, I'm just gonna put a bit of compression. Just gonna make it a bit crunchy. That tom is actually a long sample and I sliced it into 5 pieces, so I'm gonna add stuff on the fly. Here we go. Right now, I'm just in 1 beat. I'm gonna make it 4. So I'm gonna hold down shift and this pattern, all the lights light up, and spread it. So I created a pattern and a snare, and I'm going back to the sequence part of it. I moved the offset a little bit to make that snare kind of fall in between the beat. Let me see if I can find something else. What? There you go. Here you have another one. I'm gonna put it in there. It's all good. Okay, put some chords. Truncating it, grabbing one. Actually gonna go into slice, and there's other pieces of the samples that are nice. Sometimes I like to do it while I'm playing. So far, yeah. That's one sample cut up in 13 different little pieces here. I'm not even using all of them, you know what I mean? Here's my bass sound. adding a filter to that bass line. Just going back to the sample here with all the funky stuff. When I press play, it didn't start in the 1, and you can kind of see it because, you know, that bit should be here. So we're gonna go to the sequencing here and move this shift, and you can kind of see these little keys move until you can kind of find your 1. No. There. Now. There it is. At this point, I like to find other instruments and things, little trinkets and stuff to kind of dress it up. I'm gonna add maybe something else. I found this really weird kind of offbeat sort of a okay, let me see if that works there. Sometimes I'd be all 16 and I'm like, wait, it's too crowded. So I start eliminating things out. And then when I start doing, you know, these different patterns here, I'll start stripping it to then I can hear what 3 or 4 sound together. If it sounds super tight together, then, you know, I've grouped things like that. It allows you to slowly build a moment in your track, you know? I've now added a clap. Put a little bit of compression into it. You only need to spend time creating that one clap that certain way, that one time, and then you're gonna have it in that folder that you're gonna use it over and over because you know that's your favorite clap or your favorite kick. Producer things, you know what I mean? Okay, so clap. I'll go to the scene, which just shows me that first whole pattern is the first scene that I did. And if I kind of want to wander off into other patterns and stuff like that and maintain that scene, I'll just highlight it and copy it, hold it down, pick another little square somewhere, paste it, paste another one of the same, and I can start arranging which way I'm gonna go in on the track. So let's say number 1 would be number 2 would be you could go through each one and change one thing so each pattern is different. I'll start with one pattern and that'll have like 6 things. Then I'll jump to the second pattern, I'll have 8 things. Now if I go to number 3, essentially they're all playing at the same time. I'm just muting what I don't want, and it gives me that transition from one pattern to another. And now I'm gonna copy this pattern here, copy it, paste it, so then I can play something different or take out some stuff. I'm happy with the way this turned out, and I would play it.